I'm hoping that we can find a resolve that the community can support. But this is the only way to find out what the community will support is to get out in front of the community. So this is extremely important. And I have no really other opinion other than I'm here to listen. So I'm going to send it over to our Pastor Raphael. And then y'all will have your presentation. And then we'll get to questions and answers as well. We have our Desiree Walls from District 7 has our office streaming it, right? It is being streamed, so if you hear from anyone that they couldn't make it or that they were struggling, if you let them know it is being streamed on our District 7 page, and they can ask questions. Des will be monitoring that as well, so we can make sure to get all the questions.
Thank you. Wow. Good evening, everyone. It's an honor and privilege to be here again today. Thank you for coming, and I want to welcome all my team members who are here. Pastor Austin, Jacob Ajayi, Opevanwo, and Pastor Karen, and a lot of great men in the community that are here today for the screen. And I want to especially welcome our councilman. They do a very great job in our community. Thank you so much. And his determination to make our community great is unparalleled. So we are so grateful to him. And Professor Joseph has been keeping our community very safe. Thank you so much for coming. Every time we have to meet, we see him all the time. Amen. Thank you so much. God bless you. And our Mr. Brown, we've been together in the community for development for a long time. Thank you for coming. So today is a great day, like the councilman has said. We want to listen, we want your contribution, so that at least we can have a great thing happen in our community. Mr. Eva, yes. Welcome, the man that's a very good woman in our community. So I want to welcome everyone that are here today. So let's listen, let's contribute, and I know at the end of the day, great things will happen in our community. Thank you so much. Amen. Pastor Austin. Amen.
Thank you so very much, Pastor Raphael Adebayo. Once again, beautiful evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm standing in front of you as a testament of the work that Pastor Raphael Adebayo and the wife, Mrs. Elizabeth Adebayo, have been doing in South Dallas. Amen. They are the co-founders of the Winners Assembly Church, which was the first meeting was on MLK and Malcolm X somewhere December 2003. They've been doing this work for the past going 22, 23 years. Why am I here? To say that they are stakeholders in this community. We are not just about the building. We've been about the people, and I'm a product of that. I left the corporate world when I was so miserable. I thought life was all about economics. Until I met them, and they changed my life 15 years ago. So many other lives that have been changed. So for us, we try to tell the community what we're trying to do then. But apparently our communication was not well put together. So we are here this evening to say that we have listened and we have come with some great modifications that will reflect the historical architecture of this neighborhood. To do that, one of the significant introductions we have to change the design team and the construction team because we heard it. And that will lead me, because we don't want to waste any time tonight, so we can hear it sufficient. And that will lead me to mention the next speaker, Mr. Fabio. You're going to stick by me, so I can say one or two things about it. Amen. I met this gentleman about 10 years ago. He was Regina Oyibe, of the Economic Development Department of the City of Dallas. He said, I know you guys are doing great things in South Dallas. Come and see what African American is doing to lives. He's a real estate developer, he's a property developer, he has done tremendous things. And in our configuration, he said, we don't have to look any further. We have somebody from here who has built things. He has built people and he has built structures. So we sought him out. He didn't see us because of the value he's been doing here. We know he's going to take this project to a different level. So he's part of, as a matter of fact, he's the lead in terms of the design and construction. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Kevin.
Thank you. Thank you, Pastor. Thank you. I really do appreciate it. I'm humbled by your kind words. And I was honored to be invited to your team. Not all the time we get opportunities to be invited to the table of economic development, particularly when it comes to our communities. Let me do a formal introduction. My name is Kevin Brown, born and raised here in South Dallas on Pear Street. I am your personal real estate developer and construction management firm with a mission to change the way our communities are built, but more importantly, who benefits from that. We do that by adding value, creating opportunity, and sharing the wealth with our community using both residential and commercial real estate as that vehicle, which brings into focus our great vision of us collectively building our communities again. And when I say that, my brothers and sisters, I mean that literally. I'm talking about us building our own neighborhoods, our homes, building our parks, our schools, our churches, building our business districts where we work, shop, dine, and or entertain. Hence, building collective wealth, intergenerational wealth building, but more importantly, building an economy where we can become the #1 employer of our own community. Now, this vision is my life's work. I dedicate myself to that. And everything that I've done for the last 30 years of building, designing, I've dedicated myself to that. And that is why it was so important to be involved in this project, because the church's mission with this development, Winners Tower, is aligned with our mission and our vision. We don't just do any kind of work. I've taken the time, you know what, in 30 years of building here in Dallas, just a short story on myself. I was born in South Dallas. My father was a coach at Lincoln High School. My mother graduated from Lincoln. My mother went on to be the first African-American woman to be in the architectural department at the City of Dallas and worked there for over 7 years. She retired on Independence Day. Her name is Jeanette Brown Sneed. She retired on Independence Day from the City of Dallas, and she joined me, and my dream came true. And so I grew up in this household with a dad being a coach and a mother being an architect. And I played ball most of my life, and there was this pivotal point. And that pivotal point was, I had to tell my dad I was going to follow after my mama's footsteps. I was going to be a football player. He's asked me what I was going to do. And I started taking architectural classes in South Oak Cliff High School. And then later on, Bob Story took drafting classes. And later on, here today, I'm doing my dream. I'm participating in my dream. Now, it hadn't been a perfect journey. And I really did never get the acknowledgement. A lot of times people would meet me and say, hey, I never heard of you. I'm quiet about that. I just try to serve and do God's work the best of my ability, right? But lately, we've been getting some attention. And so we've been in many publications. Recently, Dallas Morning News did a piece where I took 15 members of the community and I brought them together to build a home out of our pockets cash. We didn't borrow money from the bank, and we were able to share those proceeds. And then we worked with Jack Matthews on the design for Mill City. They honored us and allowed us to participate in the design of the Mill City project. St. Philip's has been a great partner. Yes, St. Philip's has been a great, gave me the honor to be a part of 1632, which is on the corner, catty corner to your project, Pastor. That's that project. And I had the honor to be able to do that. And I'd like to recognize Scotty for giving me an opportunity to work with him on this project on MLK. And I didn't mean to take your time, but I think it's important that you understand who's asking you to partner with them strategically. And so I thought it was important to let you know who's involved. Now, let's talk about the new vision. Now, I know y'all heard, or if you hadn't, the first shot at it didn't pass. And what I have to say on behalf of the church when I sat down and talked with them, they heard you. One, it doesn't fit. Your voice matters. They understand that now. And also was heard, this is not for the community. And so they wanted to make sure that they expressed what this project really is. And they wanted to take another shot at it where they addressed those concerns. A little bit about the history. 1930 and 1960, this community was thriving in economics for black business and black homeowners. 1960 to 2010, there was a big disinvestment. And recently, 2010, we saw investment happening, a resurgence, due to local developers and builders that are now investing in our community, but we hadn't seen any large projects to this scale being done. Now, I'm so thankful about Forest Theater, Forest Forward, and what they're doing, what Scotty's doing, and all the other developers here. And so it's important we understand the historical history of it to understand it is important to return investment back to South Dallas. And that's what this church is here to do. So I'd like to introduce you the new vision of a 10-story, 20th century, modern 20th century building that's more conducive to the architecture that we see here in South Dallas, being brick, cast stone, and the divided light windows that kind of go with that old architecture. I thought that this was amazing. And the other thing, keep in mind, thank you. We thank the church. This design does elevate the community. I live here in South Dallas on Al Lipscomb Way, and I was born here, so I live in this neighborhood. I invest in this neighborhood, and so I have a stake here too, and I wanted to come to you and speak from that perspective. Two, the public heart, they heard you. Community center. This new facility will have a community center that can be shared, okay? The church is also going to be present in this facility. So they're not leaving here. They've been here 22 years, Pastor, now. They're going to still be here present. And that facility will be here for the community to be able to do all kind of events. Future grocery stores. So they want a full service grocery store. They want more banking here. And for the city, walkable, livable sidewalks and street walks. We got that too. And so really nice. I like that. I see hanging out there. Innovation and hospitality. So they wanted to make sure that they had professional office suites, which is pretty cool because small businesses, we don't need the big footprint for office space. So being able to have, co-working has been very popular. I participated in construction management for 1808 South and Latimer there. And that was a very popular space and a good move for that developer. And so they're talking about suites, business incubation space for local entrepreneurs, also a hotel to have hotel accommodations, conferencing and meeting space. All right, elevated living. So studios, lofts, 1 and 2 bedroom units. We have a lot of young millennial professionals that would like to be near downtown. And so, this is a great opportunity for them to be here in South Dallas and be able to have that type of view and this type of in this type of building. Rooftop terrace and resident lounges. So you're going to have all of this in this space. And so I really love the fact that they thought how to make this a destination location. Now here's the big deal. Community impact and economic benefits. This is real important. Job creation is important. We need job creation, okay? That's really important. And so this will create jobs. 2, it increased the tax base. That's important too. We need more tax dollars so that our school systems can get the things that children and our young people can get the things that they need, the investment that they need. And so having a tax base that supports that and other services is important. This also supports local businesses and entrepreneurship. I'm going to get into that in a minute. And also it's a catalyst to encourage future development on this scale. It's a reimagining of the MLK corridor. And the MLK corridor deserves that. We deserve it. I don't want to have to go to Frisco to do that, to Plano. I don't. I'd love it to be here. Now, strategic partnerships. This is my favorite word, y'all. I believe in strategic partnerships. I want to talk about this a little bit. This is a very creative model that the church and their leadership, Pastor Raphael, his leadership and his team have envisioned a certain type of partnership. So 1, community equity. That's important. Your involvement, your voice, your participation, we have to have. That's important. Too many times we're left out of the conversation. And they wanted to make sure that you were here at the table. 2, business ownership, what we call tenant partnership. Now, I'm going to tell you what tenant partnership is. So you got a developer. You got local businesses that are paying into rent. That developer says, hey, listen, you come and take your office and your business here, and we will give you equity. We'll give you an equity opportunity. Now when you're paying in the rent, you own some of it. That's community ownership. That's real ownership. And so being able to do that is going to be great. The other thing was very intriguing and very strategic is that when the last time y'all seen big dollars get sent to South Dallas for anything outside the Fair Park? Honestly. Okay. That's important. This is what's so strategic about that. They are seeking global partners that are willing to bet on you, to invest in you, and invest in us and our future through the Global EB5 investment. I want y'all to do some research on that. This is a very strategic way to gain capital for projects like this. Y'all please take that down so that y'all understand what the EB5 investment is. And it allows foreign investors to invest dollars here and gain a green card. It has to create jobs, and it has a minimum cap of $800,000 to $1 million investment. It is a very strategic way to not have to depend on funds here locally or bank dollars, and it's a win-win. That is strategic. I appreciate you, Pastor, for that vision, for finding a way to get major dollars invested in our community, okay? With that being said, that is the end. I know that there's limited time, but we wanted to allow at least for a few questions. And so, y'all, it's your meeting. You tell me 5 questions. What can we do?
Let's just worry about the
All right. So, all right, now let me say this. I'm gonna let y'all ask questions. There may be other members of my team that will address any questions that you have, though. And we didn't pass out paper. I was gonna have y'all write whatever questions down. But any questions that don't get addressed tonight, please. You said the QR code, Pastor Austin. That QR code, you can send your questions there, and this team will make sure they address your questions. But I'm gonna allow. Anyone have any questions? Scotty.
Hey, good evening. My name is Scotty Smith. Thank you so much. Very good. First off, thank y'all for going back to the drawing board. Thank y'all for listening. Thank y'all for not clamming up and just disappearing from the community. I know how it is as a development team to have a big project with a big vision and getting it shot down and then disappearing. I appreciate at least coming back to the drawing board and trying. Thank you so much. Kevin, can you talk to us about the parking situation for this?
The parking.
Yeah, how are
Yes.
we going to park this?
So they're proposing 2 levels, subsurface, underground for parking to meet their parking requirements. Hey, yeah. Great question, Scotty. Sir.
Will you guys make sure to talk loud enough so that people virtually can hear your questions too?
Hello there, my name is Sonny Burton, fellow developer here in South Dallas. My question for you is, the original vision for Winters Tower and this new one are drastically different in good ways. Those who were financially interested in the original vision, what incentive do they have now to invest in this new vision? You see what I'm saying? Like, it was really one kind of development before, and now you go in a different direction. Who's coming in that direction with you?
That is a great question, and it also gives us an opportunity to talk about the strategicness of the EBB5. With the EB5, there's a different motive. And so if you have wealthy abroad investors, not in this country, that want a legal path to citizenship, and then 2, to be able to invest in our economy, that's a different motive. And so that resolves that problem. It's not like having an investor here locally that's just looking at the numbers, right, in the project. These folks have a different motivation. And so there is a large amount of investors that meet that qualification. So I don't think they'll have a problem getting those funds together for this particular project. Is that fair enough?
Yeah.
Good to see Kevin.
It's good to see you, Ted.
I'm a resident developer as well in the neighborhood, but I got a couple questions because I'm just now getting this much of an intimate understanding of what the project is. I didn't mind the first project because I think the vision I didn't know the details. I didn't know the details of it, but now seeing this, and I read the questionnaire survey. I did the survey and put my request in there as far as what I thought. But I got a couple of questions. One, the cultural relationship or the cultural partnership. Because when I hear high net worth individuals coming in, being sought after to come in, you don't invest $800,000 without some type of incentive interest. So we have our own interests. So I'd like to see how we're collaboratively going to live and function. That's one. And then the other one is just a space that you think for the grocery store. And are you looking for vendors for this commercial space, meaning partners for the vendors to leasing up that space on the first level?
All right. So, great question. Great question. All right. So, I want to get clarification on the first part of that question. The second part, I totally understood. But I want to get clarification on that first part of that question.
I'm just wondering if we're gonna have something to express our South Dallas culture. You, like I said, you're from here, so you know some of the things. You see the Forest Theater. I see the Forest Theater. At least seems like have a thoughtful development plan to maintain the culture that's here. So this is a big investment.
Yes,
but I
it is.
don't, you know, whether it's artistically, culturally, just some of the things that we're catering to, that we are known for in the community, culturally. How do we mesh that? I'd like the community to be able to contribute to those ideals.
I got you.
Into the development.
That is definitely an excellent question. I think that the portion about strategic partnerships when we talk about, it's particularly Black-owned businesses that's been serving South Dallas for a long time. I think the ability to be able to lease a space for your business, but to have an opportunity in that very space that you're doing business to have ownership in it through tenant partnerships. Those type of deal structures don't happen, but on large levels, box stores, you know, Target may come in and say, hey, yeah, if we come in and we take this many square foot and the anchor, we want some equity without having to be on the deck or having any risk. And so I think that alone protects the culture because it's the folks that have already been here that can have great ownership. Two, the church not leaving is very important too. Them staying there, them still worshiping there, them still serving there, definitely protects it. Three, the community center and aspect and the incubator, being able to house events that we will be able to use this facility for. I think that's a big deal. And I think that's how we do that through the reflection of the ownership is what I like to say. Now, let's talk about the second question and three. Are they seeking tenant partners? Yes, but softly, right? The reason why that is, they needed to visit with you first. They realized they were working backwards. We admit that. We were working the wrong way. And so we wanted to work the opposite way. We wanted to get with you first, get your buy-in first, so that we can confidently go out and talk to future tenants. That was important. You're part of the team. You got a question for me? Wait a minute.
I just wanted to put a little information out there regarding the EB5 stuff.
Yes, please.
I knew a little bit about it because
Please speak into the microphone.
I knew a little bit about EB because my immediate brother is an attorney, and that's what he specializes on.
Okay, well.
So the idea of EB 5 application is to allow those who want to be Americans that are not Americans, they are all over the world, and they want to gain access to America, they want to be American over the long haul, to bring in at least $1 million, 1%. So their primary interest is not the building. Their primary interest is not profit. Understand? These are not heavily profit-oriented individuals. So the building actually belongs to the company. Whatever you want in the building can be accommodated because those people are not driving what is in the building. Their primary interest is to be an American. They don't care about the building very much. Understand? And they are all over. One may be a German, another one may be an Italian, another one may be somebody from South Africa. They don't even know themselves. Understand? The pastor has secured a regional center that drives the program. So when they make the application to be admitted in the United States, the application will run through the pastor. And let me throw some numbers. Let's assume that this building is worth about $30 million. And he receives 200 applications. That's at least $200 million. So there is more that can be done in the environment. He is never going to spend a penny of that money outside this environment. So you may be having series of developments that you drive. Those people coming to America, they don't care whether it is a church or a mosque or a shop. That's not the primary aim. The primary objective is to come here and be allowed to do business here. So they own a piece, each of them own a piece of this building run by the regional center for whatever you want in that environment. So from time to time, this kind of meeting will happen, and we'll say, okay, we want to do another building. What do we want in that building? Because we have this money that is with this person, and we don't know what to do with it. Those people don't tell us what to do with it. We do something with the money. If we said we wanted to build whatever it was, say a vocational center for children or whatever, that's what we're going to put money on. Their own interest is to be admitted in the United States. We will let that happen. Understand? And then the regional center will run the building exactly the way the community is at work. Thank you.
Well, basically just to speak like that. These foreign investors or wherever they are, basically what they are doing is they are sending their money right here for the benefit of South Dallas community. They are not running this. We do. And their benefit is they get green card wherever they might. They might probably be living not in this community, they might be living in South Texas or anywhere.
They're not going to be here. They're going to be in Florida.
They can't go anywhere.
Their money is here. We don't necessarily need their faces. So,
That's right. I think that the biggest part, one last thing, the biggest part is the jobs that are tied to it. For every investor, there's 10 jobs that have to be created based on that EB-5.
At least.
At least, no. There's someone saying that. Oh, there you go. All right, Pastor and the team, no more questions from y'all. We got to let the community ask the question. Okay? Yes.
I've got several questions on the representation of Colonial Hill Neighborhood Associations. Mr. Price is here. We represent that neighborhood association.
Hold that mic close.
Right there, where your tower is. I'm sorry. So to the councilman and to the staff of the council and to the people of the community, we oppose this hotel 25-story building overlooking the privacy of the people's yards in the area. Now, I think I heard on several accounts, not only at this meeting, but several meetings, that you've been in existence for 22, 23 years. I happened to do some research. I did some research on the property. The Winters Tower is listed for the CCAD for 2015, your existence. So that's about 11 years, not 22 years. It changed hands and on and so forth. But we want to know what the benefits you're going to be to the Colonial Hill and the grocery store. I'd like to know what type of items, what type of products are you going to be? Is it going to be just a Jamaican product, or is it going to be just products just like a Kroger store or Walmart store? You know, I understand the bank. I understand it. You know, we can maybe use another bank in the area, you know, for those that want to. But this area I've lived in for 60 years. So I know what was at that location back in the day. The Freeman's Drugstore, the restaurants, and all of that. We need shoe shops in this area, shoe repair folk, you know? People, you know, the ladies, they lose the heels on their shoes and, you know, might want to keep that invested dollar pair of shoes. So, you know, we just don't see the value of a hotel in this area at all. It will bring more traffic, underground garage, that's more traffic. We already been bombarded with traffic, you know, with some developments that's going on already in the area. So our people have problems getting in and out of Colonial Hill right today as a result of the coming down of the Central Expressway and converted to S.L. Wright Boulevard.
Sir,
We're
I'm
not
sorry.
having problems getting out of our community. We don't need any more traffic.
I'm sorry, sir, I didn't hear the question.
So
Yeah, he's okay.
What is the plan?
So, sir, I really do appreciate the question and you participating. Thank you for that. But I do want to correct you on a couple of things. I did get that you said, hey, we don't want a 25-story building overlooking us. And so they did go back to the drawing board. We're no longer proposing a 25-story building. It's a 10-story building, but more conducive to the 20th century architecture that's there. And it's also smaller, by 3 floors, than the tallest building in South Dallas on Warren, near the corner of Warren and 175.
Yeah, but right now, that area is only for 2 stories, and we'd like to keep it 2 stories.
That's why you're here to voice that. Thank you, sir.
You're very welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you. My name is Zora McPherson. I want to acknowledge the city council members and my pastor, Raphael. And I think this is a great project, but because we do want to change, you know, I think it's a great idea. But my question is, Mr. Kenneth Brown, when you mentioned foreign investors possibly obtaining green cards or citizenship, would this require local or federal government approval? If so, should we be working on that now, or have we already started?
Well, this is a program that exists today that is a federal program, and I can allow the team to speak to that. But this program does and has to be approved. There's rules and regulations around this particular program. And this is a federal program.
Hello.
Hi.
I live in Colonial Hills, so I just wanted to emphasize that there are others present from Colonial Hills who may have a different opinion about the project.
Yes.
So my questions are more about the procedure moving forward. So I understand it's at the zoning phase, but given that it's zoned like a PD and it's in a special sub area, if we move forward with this proposal, how much is set in stone? Like the PD is for the general area, but I don't know, like with the development plans in particular, if you wanted to change up maybe some of the configurations or have some more specific site design feedback, like is that at a different stage or are we doing that now?
No, so great question. Thank you for that. There will be other meetings. So let's just say that they are approved to move forward with the zoning change. The church has made clear to me that they want to keep the community involved and in the lead. And so they do have a website, and you're going to have some other community meetings, correct, Pastor? And so they do have a website where things can be shared, and then they will host other meetings once preliminary design work comes out, where y'all can have your buy-in and give your voice to what is being created. And so if it is approved, there's a process of schematic design before you go into the core design that we will all take a look at together. Yes, sir.
You had mentioned, it was mentioned earlier that the people that be invested in this is only invested in order to get a green card to come to the United States. And so that's the purpose of it. So this is another way of getting around the regular immigration laws and those kind of things. So I mean, that's one of the purposes of the whole program project, right?
Well, that's not the, and I know that the pastor and his team spoke about it. I want to give you some clarity on the United States, the goal of that program. The goal is to create jobs on our side, right? We want jobs. We want investment for worthy projects, right? And so jobs are created per investor. So one investor comes in, invests $1 million, a minimum of 10 jobs. So it has to be created. That's the regulation. Okay? The other on that other side is citizenship, right? And so, but that's the appropriate way to get citizenship. And so that addresses the problem. So you got somebody coming from abroad that makes an investment in our community. They create jobs. They gain citizenship to do business here.
Okay. Now, with this project, wouldn't it be better to go along with a two-story building rather than going through all of this, which is going to cause a lot of problems in the community? And if you went with the two-story, you wouldn't have to go through this, and you wouldn't be opposition to it. It wouldn't be, you wouldn't have to change any zoning or anything in that nature. So it would be easier, much easier to go with a two-story project.
Sir, you're absolutely right. It would be the path of least resistance would be able to do that. However, I want y'all to give some consideration to those that are out here trying to develop and make improvements to the community. So that requires you to step outside of your shoes a little bit. It has to make economic sense. And a lot of times, we'll sit in these meetings and we'll hear the city approach us with things, or developers approach us with things, and we really need to understand that there's an economic trigger, and it has to make good business sense. He has a financial responsibility to those that in the community, and business owners, stakeholders, that he's doing that for. And that math has to matter. And that's why you're seeing him, he's been flexible, said, okay, well, maybe I'll come down, we're going to lose 15 floors, more than 50% of what he was talking about building before. But it has to do with the financing and financials. That's what that has to do with. But we do respect your opinion and saying, hey, look, I really don't like it. Hey, me and my wife don't get along with everything, but there's a compromise, right? And so there are some benefits. I just wanted to point out the benefits to you so that you can say, okay, is the benefits worth the sacrifice?
The next question. Hi, my name is Julie Saxon. I work at St. Philip's. I've been there almost 20 years, and I've been doing revitalization work for almost 10 years. Kevin, I love you. But
Thank you.
I can barely speak right now because I am just, it's hard for me to see this proposal. I don't talk about this very much, but I have a master's in business economics, and I don't know if you've heard of the concept of anchoring, but if you start with 26 floors and then come back with 10 floors feeling like, oh, look how accommodating we were, that's a classic economic theory called anchoring, and it's just not right. And I knew that was going to happen when I heard 26 stories because it was so outlandish. Honestly, I thought you might come back less than 10. This, in my opinion, is grossly incompatible with the surrounding neighborhood. The only building that I know of is Park Manor, which you referred to. Do you know how much input was gotten by community residents when they built that?
Zero.
And I don't think there have been any community charrettes giving neighborhood residents the option between 10 stories and 3. I think they are allowed by more than 2 stories, at least 3 stories. We were involved in a year-long process, the area plan, and there is hope in growth and investment in Martin Luther King Boulevard. And exciting to see some of those two-story some of that is already allowed by zoning. But this is just like, I don't know, to me it feels like a slap in the face. We're trying very hard to revitalize Martin Luther King Boulevard in a way that doesn't create mass displacement, that doesn't erase the history of South Dallas. And so that's very upsetting to me. And I don't want to I work really hard, how hard I work. I don't want to spend the next 3 months, like the people that are out in Preston Hall trying to fight the big tower that they have in Loyal. Like they're spending their lives out there because they're getting all the petitions from everybody that lives around there that doesn't want it. And I feel like I really appreciate this opportunity, but I feel like that's what it's going to take to counter this. And I know I could do that. I know that all those people that live in these little one-story homes that we're repairing their roofs, this isn't the future that they want. They're going to feel a part of, and I'm just disappointed.
Well, Julie, first of all, thank you. And let me say this, Julie, I love you too. Thanks for telling me that. I appreciate it. I do want to, this is a good conversation. This really is a good conversation. So let's do this. By show of hands, who's open to a new future for South Dallas that looks like this? I'm just curious. Who's open? All right. I'm just curious because what's being said is that may not be something that the community wants, and that's why you're here. You're here to tell these developers what you want. My goal here, they're giving me an opportunity to participate as head of construction, head of design, and so I appreciate that. Now, personally, I don't oppose what they're trying to do. I'm born here. I live here. My mother went to school here. My father taught here. And I think that it has certain benefits. But I'm also open to understanding that thought. Why? Why is it there? What will it do? How can it displace? And then, whatever that is, how do we fix it where our community can grow? And so I think that I've had a lot of conversations about gentrification and things that are happening, especially in Black and Latino communities. I'm of the opinion that wealth inclusion, we're always having the conversations as if we can't afford anything. And that's not what we need to fix. What we need to fix is ownership and equity and wealth inclusion. We should be talking about those type of issues, but the thing of it is, the redevelopment of communities will happen. I'm watching West Dallas is no longer West Dallas. They rebranded it. My father's best friend stayed in West Dallas in what they call a shotgun house, and now West Dallas is rebranded as this not the Cedars, but thank you. And so it's not when, it's not if it's going to happen, it's when. And what I'm trying to be a part of is be a part of my community that has equity and ownership in it. That's what I want to be a part of. I want to be a part of that equity and inclusion if we grow. And so that's it. But this is a good conversation.
To piggyback off of Julie, it kind of felt like you guys shot high note. You wanted 10 or 12, right?
Yes.
I'm not against it, but
Yes.
I feel like there's pieces you are not considering for us who live by, right? So outside of the flow of traffic, which the underground parking, that's good.
Okay.
But what about the nighttime? If it's an event center, you're now bringing noise to my neighborhood
Right.
that wasn't there.
Right.
You're bringing rental opportunities for young people when maybe we should focus on affordable living for middle-class families. Like you want to build for the businesses. If you want to develop South Dallas and you want to build wealth, it has to bring families in as well, not just businesses or younger people who aren't going to stick around. They're going to rent and move to Plano or to whatever. If you want to develop South Dallas, why not bring things that will have people come in and stay and invest in the community? So I'm not totally against it, but I'm not a fan of like the after hours event center. I want to sleep when I'm 2 blocks from behind this, right? Same with a rooftop lounge. You're going to have kids and 30, 20-year-olds on the top of this apartment that I can hear a block away.
Okay.
So the thought process is not wrong, but how you're going about it, I feel like you need to consider future investment for South Dallas. It's not the right now. I can build apartments like that. They're popping up everywhere.
Yeah.
We don't need any more apartments. So why not make this something that maybe it's lost you can sell with the businesses on the bottom? I'm not opposed to the grocery store.
Okay.
I'm not opposed to the bank, but there has to be more long-term thought into it and not quick money and bring people here, because then you're affecting the people who have been here longer. Like, we don't want young people who are going to come in, come out, tear up the neighborhood, make noise, and not care about the community. You want people who are going to stay and invest and make South Dallas better.
Very well said. Very well said. And thank you for that. You know what? Yeah, thank you.
Thank you for that. It was very well said. I do want to just address one thing that was mentioned a couple times, like you and Julie both. And I know that it did start very high, and I think the group was very optimistic. I don't want y'all to feel that they strategically were pulling out. You know, I asked them to get back to the drawing board, and I gave them a ceiling basically of 10 stories and said to work from that, and let's see what we can get from the community. I want to just be very clear and transparent that was a directive from me, because I wanted to see where we have to start somewhere. And I didn't tell them that this was for sure going to be 10 stories, right? The reality is we are going to have to grow. And if we can't grow in the same way that the neighborhood has been invested in, St. Louis has done incredible work. But single-family homes isn't going to revitalize South Dallas alone. That's the reality.
I do not disagree. We're all about some density. I just think there's I don't know where you got 10. And all I know is...
because they have to start somewhere.
Yeah. Well, how about starting with the area plan? How about starting with...
Well, the area plan, the reason I started with 10 is because the area plan is actually going to main corridors having 10 stories.
Not in this area. Not in this area. Over where,
no, the area plan itself...
Where DART is.
The area plan itself is a guiding document for the authorized hearing. The authorized hearing is at currently at 10 stories for all main corridors.
Not all main corridors. Trust me, I read every single word of that area plan.
No, I'm not talking about the area plan. I'm talking about the authorized hearing,
well,
because this is a guiding document, and
yes.
where the planning department has it now, as of now, is at 10. And there's 8, I believe, that's even being discussed for other parts throughout 595.
Well, the authorized hearing hasn't largely been approved.
Correct, that's why I'm giving you the context.
And the area plan specifically had 10 stories for very specific parts of South Dallas, this not being one of them. It was focused around Fair Park by the BART station on MLK.
The transit-oriented development.
Yes.
Well, there's a section around MLK, or on MLK, that is directly adjacent on the backside of those of the corridor to single-family neighborhoods, and that is where the slow proximity will be respected in a way that is not overarching these neighborhoods. But there are some that it's already been built out commercial, and it's not going to impose on single-family neighborhoods, and those are where we are hoping to be able to take advantage of an opportunity for growth. I think that hearing from the community that was excellent feedback that you gave specifically. Whether it's rentership or ownership, right? That's a very key piece on how that we can see what the deal, how it will pencil out. One of the things that I can say is that this is a very unique opportunity, because this type of investment and build usually comes with some stringent affordability requirements. Those stringent requirements are exactly why we have, in my opinion, a stigma in our community for a development like this on surface for what it would add. But if we are looking at units at market rate, it actually would probably be a very big help in many fronts. The development itself is going to, and depending on what it is, but a development of this size, a mixed-use development, is going to add more to the tax base than an entire subdivision of a single-family neighborhood. But that's the reality across our city.
It's
not single family, like make these condos where people can purchase.
That's
right?
what I'm saying.
Yeah, bring in
And
an
I'm saying,
older,
that was
better
great feedback.
crowd.
And that's the feedback I think that is most helpful for them in this phase of what it is that they're presenting, because they go back to the drawing board with what they are hearing. I'll tell you right now, 2 or 3 stories is not going to pencil out there. It's not. It's not going to pencil out. It's not going. This is not a development that they're asking for public subsidy. This is not a development that they are pushing specifically for a targeted AMI. This is for the first time having outside investors who are really interested in investing in existing tenants that are there, but also investing in an area with capital. And that's always the biggest problem. When there's not capital, that's when we see the LIHTC, that's when we see the city having a lot of requirements of what it is that we want from the development. This is actually a huge opportunity. So I ask you that, I say that because I ask for you to just recalibrate the feedback that you're giving them. Don't resist the opportunity. Twist it and turn it, make it yours. Figure out what this type of development would look like in an ideal situation. And that's all I'm asking is because, again, the feedback that you just gave, and I want to harp on that, when you said, why can't they just own it? That's the type of feedback I think is most helpful, because that's when they can go. So they come and they have a consensus, and people said, no, not 10, maybe 8, right? Okay, well, we're looking at for owning instead of renting. These are all of the boxes that have to get checked to figure out how this can be reworked to bring back so that this is a product that you all feel you have put your mark on. That's what I'm asking for. Nobody is giving you any plans that are definitive. Nobody is going to shove anything down your throat. We want to hear the feedback, and we want to hear it in a way that's constructive, in a way that we can find some sort of collaborative middle ground. That's where we're looking for. So I really do appreciate hearing all of the feedback, but I wanted to at least level set. I, in no way, y'all seen how I have operated as a representative in District 7. I'm not allowing it to go 0 to 60. That's not where we're headed. I promise you that. And that's why this is the second iteration with this group. We're not going to go 0 to 60. It's still going to be thoughtful. But we have to see some opportunity of investment and growth in our community when it's in front of us.
I appreciate that, Adam. I appreciate everybody's feedback. Don't think for one moment that I won't gather with the team and they won't be thinking about this. They really do want to be of service, and they really do actually talked about the partnership with St. Philip's and Cornerstone. We talked about that. And I think it's important for all the stakeholders to really sit down. Like Adam said, Councilman Adam said, hey, this is not written in stone. We're here to get your feedback so that we can fine tune. All right.
Hi, I'm sorry, I couldn't hear your last name, sir. Did you say
Kevin Brown.
Okay, that's what I thought. All right, my name is Gaitha Davis, and I've lived in South Dallas Corridor for 68 years. Okay, I don't think there's hardly anybody here to speak that number. However, I'm not here to see who can. But when you were talking early on, and I'm sorry we got here late, we had some things going on, but nonetheless, I didn't get to hear. You may have said it. I didn't get to hear anything about the environment and how your building is going to be green and it's going to have all those, you know, those certifications
Speak
and all
into
that.
the mic, please.
Huh?
The mic.
Well, I have a big voice, so I thought you could hear me. Okay? All right. Well, now you can. Okay? So, back to my question. I'm listening.
All right. That is a great question. Of course, this is preliminary, right? But no, we are very green friendly. I believe in green build, energy efficient, and I believe in protecting the environment. Now that will be something that our client and us will discuss as this gets further along down the line, but we wanted to make sure we were here to listen to you first before we did that. But I'm taking that note.
Right, but I do think that something like that, for those of us in the audience who like to hear that sort of thing, because there's so much out here in the environment where we're getting sick. Okay, and West Dallas, South Dallas, you found out that such and so has been over here all these years, and nobody ever cared, and then everybody's going to Parkland because now they got lung cancer. Okay, and they can, research it and tie it back to some of these unsound practices, business practices of some of these companies that came and inhabited our neighborhoods for years. All right?
Yes.
So please make sure. Now, I don't know who put this together. Who put this together?
I did.
You did?
No,
Okay.
I didn't.
You didn't? Okay. All right.
Don't.
Okay, because I was going to say, first of all, is this something that was shared ahead of time, or has it just been shared tonight? I'm just asking a question, okay? Because there's a lot for a person to try to understand. And maybe your intention was for a person to go home after this meeting and then complete it. But I would have liked to have seen, if I were in your position, to do the analysis, I would have liked to have seen this issue, and then, you could have brought some sort of analysis here to kind of show what people were thinking in the thought process.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay? My final to you, and I'm not saying I'm a for or against, I think anything that can help the community is going to be of big value. I have said for about 15 years or so, that South Dallas is undergoing a major renaissance, and it's been long needed, okay?
Yes.
However, I do seem to remember a mixed-use project across the street from the VA that looks like it's in shambles and didn't make it, okay? I remember when they were bringing in regional retailers, all right? Big corporations. Oh, we're going to have mixed-use restaurants downstairs, And, okay, you know what I'm saying? And then I remember, because I was working in District 8 at the time, when the Save-A-Lot, they're going to bring that to Simpson Stewart. It's going to change things, and we're going to have a grocery store. Save-A-Lot ain't nothing. I'm sorry if any of y'all investors, okay? But I wouldn't want it, all right? And it didn't make it. It didn't make it. So a lot of these questions in here, okay, you might want to go back and rethink them. Finally, I saw your stock photos. I think I saw 1 or 2 Hispanics. I'm part Mexican and part black. This gentleman over here maintaining the culture, okay? I'm looking at emerging cultures coming together. All coming together and living as one, all right?
Me too.
And you put this out tonight.
Well,
okay? That's all I have to say.
Yeah,
Thank you.
I appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you.
Let me say this here, because I got to run. But it's something you said that intrigued me.
Yes,
sir. I've been in South Dallas, Southeast Dallas all of my life.
Yes, sir.
Mama was here, great grandmother come from the country, came up here.
Yes, sir.
Where I live here in the South, and it has went nowhere.
Yes, sir.
Same old houses, a lot of these houses are old, we need.
Yes, sir.
But something you said that intrigued me. You said y'all had an immigration effort, right? Where you were trying to get people into the country through providing jobs and investment.
Yes.
Now, I'm very interested in that. When we talk about African people coming into the country, right? These are African people coming into the country. But it's mainly African folk coming to the country.
Anyone? No.
Anyone? But African folk too, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, I'm more intrigued by that.
Oh, I got you. I understand.
I'm more intrigued by that.
Okay.
But let me say this. Now, it's not just about this hotel, because we need them. Preachers come in here, know where to stay in the vicinity.
Oh.
Got to go downtown. And it's good to do business with black folks. And we need some taller buildings in South Dallas. They don't worry about it when they're taking it all north. We need to start seeing more downtown coming this way. Okay? South Dallas needs to look like Las Colinas. I don't have no problem with that. I'm tired of keeping South Dallas in the dog days. Okay? It's time for South Dallas to come up.
Yes, sir.
And the main thing is not just about this hotel. We got investors like this. That means there are other things that we can do. And I don't want to do anything to run you off. Okay? And I think one thing we need to do is get some more folks on your committee. Now, I want to be one of those folks because I want you to kind of teach me not only what you're doing as an investor,
Okay, but how folks are gonna come into this country, who they're gonna be, because I'm very interested in that. And I'm very interested in growth. I'm very interested in partnership. And when I'm looking at a black man, no matter where he's from, talking to me about investing, now I know that bill is gonna be secure, but I want all these escorts up in here.
That's right.
Okay, and talking to me about investing, I don't want to run that off. And I'm going to do everything in the future to see that when black folk, not white folk, I'm talking about black folk, come in here, want to invest with their people, I'm going to do everything to make sure that you're able to do that. Okay, this is the last thing I'm going to say. Now, I'm very active. I put over 40-something folk in office. And I tried hard to keep folks out of office. And Balthazar taught me a good lesson about that. Okay? But I put a lot of folk in office. And I'm very active politically. And so don't play me. Come in, let's see what you got. Hey man, let's make this thing work. We just ain't talking about a hotel, we're talking about something else we can do with money in the future. It needs to make money. But we need to see more investors come in and then listen to some of the things we want to do as far as investing. Because we got to get rid of Adam. We got to get rid of these motels and these neighborhood grocery stores. Okay? We need more Fiesta, but we don't need these neighborhood grocery stores drowning them out. Where folks running in there getting $10 tip and they starving Fiesta up here. We need to get rid of these neighborhood grocery stores. They don't do it cause problems. Folks hang around. You know, we need to make this community more safer, with more viable business, and we need to have some type of environmental plan, okay, that says this thing is going to be secure.
Teddy, get to your question, please.
Well, that was the question. That was the question.
That was very clear.
But hey, man, I ain't gonna say I support what I hear.
Thank you.
I just can't say I can support until I'm able to sit down and get with you and kind of show me what's going on.
Okay.
But I like it when our people come and
we appreciate
and they represent.
We appreciate it.
But I'm going to be talking to you all.
All right, thank you. Thank you so much, the speaker. Please, can I just want to quickly chime in on the EB5. Excuse me, sir. Excuse me, sir. I really want you to hear me on the EB5 stuff. On the immigration-backed foreign investment. I want us to just take a second, forget about the building, and look at the value that we're bringing to South Dallas. The regional center is an operator of foreign investment by immigration. I can tell you, my brothers and sisters, they check our integrity by the government of America. We are probably one of the few African American that own a regional center. Before now, it was a domain of the white man. Why did we do this? Because a lot of our brothers and sisters have been shut out from the economy. There are private businesses in South Dallas that cannot get funding from the main bank industry. We said beyond the building, we want to provide soft interest. Our brothers and sisters have been shut out of the economy of America.
That's it.
The headquarters, the office for the regional center is down the road. It's in South Dallas. We have a lot of contractors who cannot get money from the bank. Come to us. Is that a solution? Let's look at that.
Thank you, Austin. That's awesome. Thank you. All right, I think we got all the questions. One last two. Okay, we got one more. One more question.
My family owns lots of properties behind 125th Street, Harlem, so I do know that gentrification is going to happen regardless. This is a church development, so I think my question is more around sanitation, moving sanitation plans around it, and we probably bring more people coming into this development. That creates the whole problem. I think New York with the rents, right? So So I'm thinking about that. I'm thinking about if this is a development made by the church, how whatever profit comes from the church, how people, businesses are able to go ahead and write off parts of money that they actually donate. What percent of profit can come from this building that goes straight directly into the community itself? So if there was a plan like that inside of the development itself, that okay, 15% goes back into making sure the community's taxes are covered in a specific zip code, or percent of this goes back into developing the actual homes in the area, regardless of the church, they're going to write something off. They'll be able to get that money back in taxes. So I think it's smart to be adding financial check on it, as well as the sanitation department. I think those two things are basically living out in the community, coming from New York City, which my family, we have underground and we have a lot of things. So as far as the planning, I think it is good. I would always say go bigger better, but again, we're still in development, we're a developing community, and being a developing community, we need to think about how this is going to raise taxes for everybody, how the developers are able to go ahead and put this money back into the community in specific ways, whether it be a tax write-off at the end of the year, as well as control with the people coming in, the traffic they're going to have, the more sanitation they're going to need, what the streets will look like, putting more trash cans on the streets, making sure it's up and regular. This also coming from the funding, or from the profits of the redevelopment. So I think this planning ahead is important for that, definitely, but the implications of that, it's just about us taking forward. I appreciate the opportunity you guys coming forward.
Thank you for that input. We really do appreciate it. I think that was the last comment, and I want to allow the pastor to come up and thank everyone for allowing us to speak. Pastor Raphael.
This is a very good community meeting.
Amen.
Very constructive input and very real and organic. Thank you so much. Thank you. This is very good. Like what you said is just so very important. We are not here now to push down anything on anybody's throat. We want to discuss. I want to give credit to our councilman. We voted for him to take our district to the next level, and he has been committed to it. Everybody in the district will know that Mr. Adam will visit you, talk to you. Doesn't take sides. It doesn't take sides, like he said. So thank you for coming. Okay, this is not the first meeting. We're going to have all you have discussed. Just please follow the QR code to let us see your comments, and we're going to follow what you said. Then one other thing, I've been in South Dallas for going to be 23 years this December. But the building, 1705, 1703, 1705, 1709, 1715, was purchased in December 2014. That is when we went to the closing table and closed on the property. Okay? Then that's how it has been. And since then, go and look at the map. What happened in that area now. Now we have good tenants, great people who are doing business in that location. And they are ready to see us improve the property so they can continue to service us in South Dallas. Okay? So your comments are very appreciated. Let's put in and comment and just go back and forth or to get the best out of this place. So thank you so much. God bless you. God keep you. And until we come your way again, then God bless you. Amen. Happy Easter morning. Amen. Bye.
Okay.
They don't want it right there. You can put it right there.